Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I wanted to talk about optimizing or de-optimizing your life, especially when it comes to recovery. So this is something I've been thinking about a lot recently, and you probably know if you followed this channel for a while that I love kind of optimizing, and I love systems, and I love sorting my life in a way that I can focus on things that really matter. So, I have things in place to allow me to prioritize my time. I can spend less time on my work and more time on recovery. I love to get plans in place. I have a bit of an obsessive nature, as you probably can tell. And I think this is great and really useful in many ways, right? But one thing I've been thinking about a lot recently is there's a group of people who might well benefit from needing a bit of an extra push in terms of optimizing more and getting processes stuck in place more and working more diligently and being a little bit more consistent and determined with what they do. And there's another group who more often than not will likely need to rein that in a little bit. So people who are at risk of overdoing that optimizing and pushing in all aspects of life, and could very well do with reining that in and maybe de-optimizing or relaxing in certain areas that they do as well. I think if you're a follower of this channel, and if you have an illness like long COVID, you're more than likely you're probably in this side where you push it a little bit too much. I know that's certainly the case for me. I mean, you look through all of the stuff that I do, and I have Notion templates, I have goals, and I have all of these kind of targets, and very helpful and very useful in certain areas, but it can also bleed into other areas of life as well. So I recently came across this concept of de-optimization because, like I said, I have all of these systems in place, these goals, these targets that I have in other areas of my life, and in certain areas it's incredibly useful, right? So when it comes to my work, I've managed to sort things and been really diligent and worked really hard to get my business into a position where I can largely have, quite a lot of freedom with it. With my recovery, for example, I think it's been really beneficial to me to get habits ingrained and set up my life in a way that I can. It aids my recovery as well, and I've thought a lot about that. I've done lots of research. I've been very diligent. I think that's very helpful. But what I do notice is that very often this just bleeds into everything else that I do as well. So I'm not just learning the piano, I'm putting together a ChatGPT powered piano practice checklist of how I can become a world-class pianist in the next 5 years. I'm like why? I don't need to, I don't need to be doing that, but it ends up happening. And if I want to read a book, I put it into a reading list, and I have templates, and I have to write a review on it and articulate my thoughts around it, and then make notes. And it's all very optimal and all very systematized, but I kind of wonder and think maybe it doesn't all need to be like that. So I came across this idea of de-optimization because I think there is just a part of me which has this kind of obsessive nature and this tenacity, and I think many of you will probably relate to this as well. This desire to achieve, which I've spoken about in previous videos, and that is great. And I think it's such a valuable part of who I am and who you are. It's so incredibly helpful, and it will allow you to do amazing things, and it's allowed you to stick through what has been a miserable and horrible experience. But I think there's a case for, when you're optimizing so many areas, to consciously de-optimize some of those other areas as well. So for example, for me, maybe it would be beneficial with the piano, to be consciously de-optimized and non-optimal in my practice routine, and just play when I want to play, draw when I want to draw, read a book because I want to read a book, and read something that's fiction and enjoy it, and don't feel like I have to make notes on it and consciously think about the next thing. But then in my areas of work, and when I am applied at work, I can utilize that kind of optimal sort of framework. So yeah, I think that's been quite a big thing for me recently, in just consciously thinking about what I'm doing as well, and consciously thinking about that optimization, because it's so subconscious and so natural for me to just, in everything that I'm doing, just to instantly switch into that sort of high achiever mode. And that, yep, so we optimize this, and how can I do this excellently? How can I do this? Rather than just doing things for the sake of enjoying it. And then it allows you to actually do better, I think, in the areas of optimal stuff as well. So yeah, I think that's just been a bit of a interesting learning for me in the past few weeks. So I thought I'd share, and I hope that's useful.